guys, it's Carly
and Warren, and today we're making
Infinite Origami Circles. Let's get into the craft. Today we are going to be making our infinite origami circles. In your pack, you will have 6 pieces of different colored paper, and then at home, you will have to grab glue. I would recommend stick glue, but we didn't have stick glue, so we used white glue here at the library to make this craft. First, you are going to want to grab one piece of paper. I chose pink. It's one of my favorite colors. Then you are going to fold it in half. It doesn't matter which way because it's a square, so both of the sides will be even. Next, you are going to want to take one of the halves and fold it back towards the other half. Make sure you're folding it outside. You do not want to fold it so it goes inside of the half. You can watch what I'm doing here. This should create like an M shape or a paper airplane or a W, whatever you want, however you see it. But it should look like mine. Then you are going to fold that piece flat again and fold it in half. Watch what I do. To fold it in half, it will give you a center point for your zigzag folds. You are going to want to fold the half back and forth starting from the center. You do not want to start at the end because this will make your folds uneven. Start at the center fold, and then I start folding back and forth in about smaller than centimeter chunks. Try to make your folds as even as possible, but with this craft, it's okay to not be perfect. It's kind of hard to fold the paper evenly. If you need a parent's help, make sure to ask. Once I fold the last zigzag over, I start folding the other half of the paper the same exact way, making sure to alternate each fold. Once you are done folding, you can pull apart your piece of paper, your folded paper, and it should kind of look like this, kind of like a spring zigzag type of pattern. You can set this folded piece of paper aside and grab another piece of paper. You are going to repeat this pattern for each and every single piece of paper. I will show you one more time how to fold. Fold it in half, and then fold your halves in half like I'm doing. Then you are going to fold your other piece of paper in half, hot dog style, just like I'm doing again. This will give you a center point to start your zigzag folds. Start folding in opposite directions to make your zigzag pattern. Try to make them about the same size every single fold. This will be difficult. Now you have your second piece of zigzag paper. Put this piece aside and then start doing the same exact folding pattern on the rest of your pieces of paper. Now you will have 6 pieces of zigzag paper. Try to make sure that all of the folds are even on each piece of paper. Pick up one of your pieces of paper and make sure you are on the side that has 3 folds. There should be one thin piece, a thick fold, and then another thin fold. This is the side you want to be on, not the side with 2 folds. This next part is going to be a little bit tricky. Take apart your folded piece of paper, making sure you have 3 sides to it, like I do. See how I slowly take it away, but making sure you also have the folds. If you need to, like I do here, you can fully unfold your piece of paper. So there's one fold in the middle and two on the outside. Now you're going to want to pinch the zigzags back together. Watch as I do it. Here you can see there are 3 sections of pieces of paper. You want to slowly pinch them, but making sure they're also spread apart. If they get stuck in the folds next to each other, in the end you are going to slowly try to pull the folds out of each other. Watch as I do this. It's okay if your folds are not perfect here. See on the other side how that's kind of creating a W shape? This is what you want. Go ahead and take this part slow. It's better to be slow and make sure it's right than rush so it's wrong. Once you get this shape, now it's time for step 2. Do you see how there are folds inside of the folds? It kind of creates another zigzag pattern. Pinch at the top and pull those folds out. You see how I'm doing it? You want to pinch and pull. Have either a W shape or an M shape, and then you can adjust your paper so the folds are as flat as possible. It may not be super even. Now you can adjust your W and make sure its folds are as even as you'd like them to be. Make sure you do not pull out the W as far as possible, because in the end you might need to adjust the lengths so it's easier to glue the W's together. Now I'm going to repeat the last steps for each and every zigzag fold. If you need help, either ask a parent or watch the video over again. Once all of your W's are complete, it is time to glue them all together. Now you're going to want to find 2 W's that are about the same size. We're going to be gluing them face to face like I just demonstrated. Make sure you measure them before you glue them to make sure they are going to stick about evenly. If they don't stick evenly, you can pull some of the sides like I'm going to do here a little bit just to make it wider so it fits better. This is why we didn't pull them to their full length while we were folding them. Take your glue and lather one of the W's on one side, like I'm going to do here. Don't put a whole lot of glue on, otherwise the other folds will stick together. But if you spill over, that's okay. You can just rip them apart in the end. But make sure you stick them together really, really tightly and hold for 30 seconds so the glue can dry. Make sure you are pushing them together and they're sticking where they're supposed to stick. After you hold it very tightly for 30 or more seconds, you can kind of see the beginning of your infinite circle. Try to pull apart extra parts or extra folds that are sticking together. You can see there how there was a small little fold that was sticking together. You are going to want to repeat this step 2 W's at a time. I find it easier to glue them together in the end. But I found 2 W's that are about the same size, put glue on one of them, see, but my glue kind of spilled over right here. But it's okay, I made the best of it. So after you glue one side, stick them together as even as possible, and then hold them together so until the glue dries. Now you have 3 pairs of 2 W's. We are going to glue all of these together now. Try to make sure you find even W's so it's easier to glue them together. With sticking the first 2 W's together, I kind of spilled glue all over the table. Don't worry, I cleaned it up later and I used the rest of the glue that was on the lid, but sometimes you make messes. And surprisingly, I made a mess while making origami. I don't know how that's supposed to happen. But what I did was I took my 2 pairs of W's, put glue on one of them, and then glued the 2 faces of the W's together that were about the same size. I held this, squished like this, for 30 seconds at least. I know it's really exciting to see your infinite circle forming, but before pulling it apart, make sure all of the glue is dried so you do not rip apart the W's. If the glue is dry, it's okay to check and see if any folds are glued together. Now you are going to glue your last pair of W's to the big W chain you've made. Make sure you hold your chain really tight for at least 45 seconds to a minute now to ensure that your chain will not fall apart because your glue isn't dry. After the glue is dry, you can carefully pull apart your W chain. Make sure there are no folds glued together, and you can adjust it if you need to make sure it fits when you're gluing it, like I just did. Now you're going to want to glue one of the sides carefully, like I'm doing, and then pull around the other face of the W chain like I'm doing and glue them together. Make sure you pinch and hold once you've put them together. If you need a parent's help for this part, make sure to ask. Main focus here is to squish together the orange and the purple. This will put the most pressure on the glue so it dries faster. Hold these chains together for at least a minute. Once the glue is dried, you can start to flip your circle inside out. I'm gonna go clean up that glue mess now.
Thanks for watching today and making infinite origami circles with us. Make sure to tune in 2 weeks from now on August 16th to make
Pom-pom turtles!
Have a great day!